What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Three in the Key. We hope you had a great Christmas, a great New Year's. Now we're back. You can catch us on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast, YouTube, Anyway,
Sheesh.
my name is Grant, and I'm the host that only tunes into Detroit Piston games to watch them lose. Fun, bro.
Yo,
Let's see how
my
long they
name
can
is
go.
Kaim, and I'm the host with the grandfather that says Wimby's the GOAT. That was always going to be mine. Wimby's the GOAT, yo, according to my lineage.
What's up, y'all? I'm Jay, and personally, I think Jeff Teague got the best podcast out.
Yeah, bro, that's what we're looking up to at this point.
That's who I'm looking up
Not
to.
Podcast P, not Pat Bev.
Bro, podcast.
Not
Them boys need to stay on the court. Jeff Teague, he's about this life for real.
No, Jeff Teague is telling
man,
all
not
the
even
stories, bro.
Old man in the street.
Old Man in 3 is good. Old Man in 3 is good. I like Club Shay Shay. I like them over there too. But Jeff Teague kind of has the storytelling on lock right now.
Yes.
Hey man, there's too many podcasts up in this joint. It's cool though. We're just adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, saturated the market.
Yeah. So, today we're gonna talk about the OG Anunoby trade between the Knicks and the Raptors for the first half. For halftime, we're gonna dive a little bit into some college football. It was the semifinals, the national championship coming up, so we'll touch on that a little bit. And for the second half, we're gonna talk about the Detroit Pistons. Yep. So let's get into it. Now, brothers, we've had our first big trade.
First trade.
OG Anunoby is going to the Knicks. RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly going to the Raptors. A few other things. I know Precious was involved in that trade. I know there's a first-round pick involved in that trade. Or I think a pick involved in that trade. I'm not sure if it was first round or second round. How do you guys feel about the trade? What's happening with the teams? Let's start with the Knicks. How do you guys feel about the Knicks?
Hey man, I love the Knicks. They got a former Laker as their number one option. How can I hate on that? And if you look at it, Julius Randle, rough start to the season, but now he's been hooping. And I feel like this always happens for him every year. He's like, Julius Randle, he's not a real all-star. Then like mid-season past the all-star break, he starts hooping usually. He actually he's hooping right now, so that's pretty good. But the Knicks, to me, they look about as good as they do last year. I don't know what to say. I mean, they look damn near identical. They traded, they got OG. I mean, he's a nice defensive player, nice 3-and-D guy, I would say. I mean, I respect it, but they lost RJ Barrett. And I don't know if it's because they thought he was going to be up there with Randall and what's the short guy's name? I'm being disrespectful right
Brunson.
now. And Brunson, but I guess
you disrespected Brunson. This is the second time now. First you called him the second option.
I was confused.
Yeah. Oh, you guys think Brunson's the first option?
Yeah, Brunson is the first option, bro. We just decided to let you rock.
Yeah, I was quiet. I was about to touch on it.
All right. Anyway, my point is, the Knicks, I don't think they got significantly better with the trade or worse. If anything, I would say the Raptors are better toward looking for their future. So I respect that trade a lot more. The only problem is, because of that, they folded against the Pistons.
Yeah.
More on that
later. I wanted to see how high it was going to climb.
Hey, man. They started a new one. They started a new streak.
I can't believe that's what it took. But yeah, more on that later. Man, the Knicks, I mostly agree with Jay. Mid for mid. Bottom tier mid to top tier mid. The Knicks are top tier mid. The Raptors are bottom tier mid. And they're both the same. But what I will say is, from the Knicks perspective, I understand. And the reason I understand is because they kind of maxed out what that team was going to do. They were going to the second round, playing well. But in this conference, they're looking at Milwaukee, Boston, 76ers. So it was kind of like the second round was as high as you were going to get. And we're forgetting about the Heat just because they never played that well in the regular season. But last year in the playoffs, the Heat beat the Knicks in round two. Yep. And they were out there trying anything, bro. Quentin Grimes was playing 48 minutes. They ain't there trying to guard Jimmy Butler. So coming all the way back around, I understand because OG gives them a defensive guy that they haven't had. Especially that they can start. Like they were starting Brunson and Barrett. They were bringing quickly off the bench. They can start OG who actually plays defense for real, who you can legitimately put on Tatum. You can legitimately put on Tyrese Maxey, all those different guys. So I respect that. But I'm just concerned because I don't know, bro. I think Emmanuel Quickly is good. Yes. Like, I think Emmanuel Quickly could go to the Raptors and have his Tyrese Maxey kind of moment, bro. Like or even his Brunson kind of moment. Brunson coming from the Mavericks over to the Knicks. Emmanuel Quickly is a good player. He's a bucket. And I just wish they could have done it without him. Barrett's a good player too, but I understand. I understand Barrett for Anunoby. I wish they could have got it done with somebody else. I understand not giving up Josh Hart. He plays hard, but I think I would have maybe tried to keep Josh Hart in the trade. All in all, though, I do think they're in a decent spot to, scare a team in the second round.
The second round again.
Yeah, they're a second round, and they'll scare you. I mean, they got Brunson, Anunoby, and Randall.
Nobody's scared of
that. I agree with you guys. It's mid for mid, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, Anunoby, 15 points per game, pretty good 3-point shooter. I mean, shooting about 40%.
Yeah, good shooter.
And they needed a defensive player because the Knicks lost Mitchell Robinson for the season. So their starting lineup, they started Hartenstein. Man, the Knicks are they're what you think it's going to be. It's going to be a fifth seed, maybe 4 if they play well. I don't see them cracking the top 3. Second round team.
Yeah.
We'll see if the team meshes. I felt the same way. Fortunately for us, or fortunately for the Knicks, it's a Julius Randle up season because every other season, like one season he plays bad, one season he's good. So this is a good season for Julius Randle. So they're looking good, or he's looking good there. But RJ Barrett, they had a very big love-hate relationship for RJ Barrett with the Knicks. They wanted a little bit more out of him, so I don't think they're too unhappy kind of getting rid of him, especially getting Anunoby, who's a pretty consistent scorer, pretty consistent, probably going to be the best defender on the team now that he's on the team. So mid for mid, there'll be a fifth seed, maybe scare someone. Maybe scare someone. Jeez.
Same position they were in before. Position they were in before.
Well, what about the Toronto Raptors? They're honestly not that good. I mean, if Pascal Siakam's your number one option, I mean, that's not good.
So, I stopped respecting Pascal Siakam when they said, once teams learned his spin move, he wasn't effective anymore.
He's been
and then I could never watch it. I could never watch his game the same. I'm like, bro, he's about to spin, isn't he? And then he did.
And he spun. I'll be honest. Pascal Siakam's number one option is not good. That's not a playoff team. Now, what do you think RJ Barrett? You said Emmanuel Quickly is going to have that breakout moment. Do you think RJ Barrett maybe coming back to Toronto is going to kind of not resurge his career, but kind of improve on his career slightly?
I mean, I hope so personally, but I just don't think it's going to happen because it's not like he went to like the worst team ever. He went to a team that's just not good enough to make it to the playoffs because they have some players that are like hoopers, like some 20-point scorers. They got Siakam. They got Scotty Barnes. Like, they love Scotty Barnes in Toronto. Like, honestly, they're probably pushing the Scotty Barnes agenda more than Siakam right now.
Yeah.
So, throw RJ Barrett in there, it's like, all right, well, we already have these two. I mean, they're not getting it done. Like, we're not winning a lot, but do we want RJ Barrett to take the reins? I don't think so.
I mean, I think we have to have a moment with RJ Barrett. He was a great player at Duke, great name, but to just kind of adjust our expectations, bro. He's not a star. And that's actually okay. Like, it's okay, bro. Like, KCP was a top 10 pick. But it's like, all right, he's not a star. And I think that RJ Barrett, could have that moment where he's a starter in this league. Like, okay, this dude established himself. Okay, he can be a starter in this league for 5 to 10 years. I think that's the best he can hope for. I do think the Raptors, I think Quickly and RJ Barrett can start for them. They do have Schroeder, but Schroeder can come off the bench, and that's honestly a good backup point guard. I think the Raptors got a little bit better, for sure. I'm a little confused on the direction. Like, the Knicks are clearly trying to win. Now, do we think it's going to work? I don't know. Like, they're not going to win a championship, but maybe they'll put themselves in a position like they can trade Randall, maybe get something great. So, because I do think, and all jokes aside, I do think that Brunson can be the number 2 on a championship team. So they have a 2. They got to go get somebody else, though, to be that 1. So maybe this is like getting some trade chips. But for the Raptors, this is going to make them like instead of the 15 seed, they're going to be like the 9, 10, 11, fighting for the bottom of the play-in, kind of just a mid squad, but they're exciting. But I'm wondering, what is that going to do for them? I'm wondering what's next for them. So I think there's another move coming that I hope there's another move coming. Yeah, for the Raptors, bro, because
I think the only other move that I would see like making a big change for them is if they get rid of Siakam, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning in my head. I think they have decided, bruh, this is what I think. Maybe I'm a little high on Quickly, but I think they're like, bro, we got Scotty Barnes, we got Emmanuel Quickly, bro. Everybody else is just bull job. That we're trying to turn into. We're low key trying to rebuild without rebuilding. That's what they're attempting to do, and that's a very difficult feat to accomplish. So good luck to them. But I do respect what's his name? Masai Ujiri? Yeah, I do respect him. So if anybody can do it, maybe he can do it.
Do you see, like, is Siakam even a 2 on a championship team?
Bro, I gotta be honest with you. He is a 2 on a championship team. But I was watching the Raptors that year that Kawhi was there.
Yeah,
he progressively got worse as the playoffs went on, and I'm telling you, it had to do with them figuring out that spin move. So, like, I think at this point of his career, he's a 2 still, but he's falling more toward a 3 type of guy.
I don't think you want him as a 2 if you're trying to win a chip, bro. Okay. I don't think you want him as your 2, bro. You want him as your 3rd or 4th option. As a 4th option, he's great.
I think he's a good 3rd
I don't know, bro. Look at some of these teams, like the Milwaukee. Their 1's Giannis, their 2's Damian Lillard, their 3 is Chris Middleton. I personally would take Chris Middleton over Siakam.
Yeah.
I don't know about other people. Even the Heat, even if you look at the Heat, their 3rd option like varies from time to time. But if we're saying Butler, Bam, and then like Tyler Hero, I'm taking all 3 of them over Siakam.
Tyler Hero will give you 20 points.
I'll take Tyler Hero, bro.
Mm-hmm. When I look at the roster, I don't hate the roster. I mean, Scotty Barnes, Dennis Schroeder, like Siakam, and now even when they had Anunoby, I didn't hate the roster. I'm trying to understand why they're not good. Is it the bench?
Yeah.
They don't got a real 1. That's why.
Yeah, they don't have a 1. And plus, the team was harder. Yeah, bro, and the team was weird because their best players were before the trade Anunoby, Barnes, and Siakam, who really all kind of play the same position. They're all kind of big forwards. They're not really lead ball handlers. They're kind of playing the same position, but you have to start them because they're your best 3 players by a lot. Yeah. So the team was odd, and I think now everything makes sense a little bit more. They have 2 guards. They have 2 forwards in Barnes and Siakam, even though they might trade them. I don't know who they're starting at the center. I gotta look it up.
Bro, they have Portal.
Oh, they have Jakob Poeltl.
Bro, I think Barnes was their center. I think they started him at the center.
Dang.
Because
Yeah.
it wasn't Siakam. Yeah, I think it was Scotty Barnes.
Bro, we got boy Poto out there.
Yeah, that boy Pirtle. You know, Pirtle's actually not bad.
He is. And they got my boy Chris Boucher.
I mean, bruh, Pascal's giving you 22 every night. Scotty's giving you 21 every night. But Pascal is a non-shooter, boy. Golly.
He has to get in the paint and do that spin move, bro. I'm telling you.
Yo, Jay hates that spin move, dog.
Bro, I'm don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Pascal Siakam.
Mm-hmm.
That spin move, we gotta vary the arsenal at some point, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're falling out of that 3 range to a 4, like Kaim said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now you guys talked about a trade that would maybe help the Raptors, but what's something that can maybe bump up the Knicks? Because they're probably looking for another move to make before the season ends to kind of maybe break into that 3, 4 or 3 seed in the East.
They need an MVP, bro.
They do.
They need an
Everyone
MVP.
needs MVP.
You know, but here's the thing. The biggest problem is, bro, nobody wants to go to the Knicks. And, you know, part of that has to do with the culture. Part of that has to do with James Dolan. And at the end of the day, like, you can try to trade for these superstars, but everybody in the league knows nobody wants to go there. There's always the rumors during the summer, like, oh, maybe Kevin Durant. Oh, maybe Damian Lillard.
Maybe Zion.
Maybe Zion. Even Zion was like, nah, bro.
I'll stay in New Orleans.
I'll stay in New Orleans. Yeah. So for the Knicks, honestly, they're probably at some point they're gonna have to blow it up. They're gonna be one of those teams, I think, like the Hawks, that they're gonna have to blow it up to a certain extent.
I think, brothers, it's time. Julius Randle's on the block. Julius Randle is on the trade block. And it's not because he's not a good player. He is. It's just because we got to do everything we can to get a player that's better. That's a tier 1 guy. You need a tier 1 superstar to win the championship. They don't have it. They don't have anything that anybody wants in exchange for a tier 1, except for maybe they could fleece somebody for Randall. Somebody gets unhappy. like you know how, bro, Dame got unhappy, so they got to trade him for Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday is good, but he's not Dame. Maybe you just wait around. He said what?
Nobody's that happy to willingly go to the Knicks.
And but you know what? I think that's actually part of this Anunoby trade for them. I think they're trying to prove, like, we are a winning franchise. Like, we might not win the championship, but we make good moves. We're smart. You know, we'll go get you a star player. I think that's what they're trying to do. So yeah, I said there was going to be moves for the Raptors. I think there's going to be moves for the Knicks too, but it just might not be this season. This season, they might sit here and see what this team can do.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Well, all right. That concludes the first half. Now we'll go into halftime and talk a little bit about some college football.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Alrighty. Let's start up halftime. We're going to talk a little bit about some college football. The 2 big bowl games for the college football playoffs just happened this week. Michigan and Alabama, and of course Washington and Texas. So, boys, what's going to happen? National championships on Monday, or Monday the 8th. So, is it going to be Washington or Texas?
Bruh. Wait, no. Washington or Michigan? Washington or Michigan?
I was like, is this a trick question?
Washington or Michigan?
Texas? Yeah. I was like, I didn't study no Texas.
Washington or Michigan? What do you see, Kaim?
Bro, this is a hard one to pick, man, because I'm a Southern boy. I'm an SEC fiend. Almost every team I watch is in the South, dog. I watch UGA. UGA grad, man. We should have been in the playoff. Golly. All these haters that were talking about Florida State. Oh, Florida State should have been there. Bruh.
Yeah, we can touch on that, too. That
63 freedom. That's later. But in this one, I'll be honest, I am going to say Michigan. I'm going to say Michigan. It's tough. Washington's quarterback is tough. bro. That's a good player, but I think Michigan actually outplayed Alabama offense and defense. The only reason, in my opinion, the game was close is because Michigan has the worst special teams on the face of the planet. So they muffed 2 punts, they missed a field goal, and they dropped a field goal snap like 40 yards in the backfield. Bro, I've never seen anything like that in the championship. They got lucky to stay alive, but
We're too bright.
I can't go against a team that beat Alabama since Alabama also beat Georgia. But Texas also beat Alabama, so Alabama's on the downfall. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go with the team I know. I'm gonna go with the cheating blue and gold.
With the scandal Wolverines.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the scandal Wolverines. Michigan for the chip.
I mean, I respect that. I mean, if we look at historically, cheaters win in football.
Yeah, cheaters win, bro. New England has a dynasty, boy.
Oh, in football. Honestly, I like Jim Harbaugh as a coach. I was actually kind of upset that he went to college after the NFL stuff, but
Yeah.
He showed that he can still coach at that level. He's been hooping. I mean, I guess he hasn't. They suspended him, but he built the team. At the end of the day, the team that's set up now, that's in the championship now, he set up that team. I trust that team. But what I will say personally, I will take Michael over JJ McCarthy. I think if we're talking about the real hoopers, I know in football it's harder for like a single player to make an impact, but I won't count him out, bro. I won't count him out.
I respect both your guys' opinions. I'm a West Coast guy. You watch Southern football. I watch the Pac-12. And I've been watching Washington. I'm always pull for a Pac-12 team because, we don't really make the college football playoffs. So I'm going to pull for Washington. So Michigan does have the best defense in the nation. I do know that. But y'all can't compete with the West Coast offense. Michael Penix Jr. is throwing the deep ball and hitting it.
Oh, my gosh.
Hitting it. Crazy. And hitting it against top teams, hitting it against Texas. Personally, I thought we were going to get blown out by Texas. But the boys look good. I'm a little bit nervous about Michigan. I think my heart wants Washington to win, but Michigan is the number one team. Michigan's them boys, and anytime you have multiple mistakes and still beat Alabama, you have to.
That was the crazy part.
Because Bama is, you don't mess up against Bama. You have to play a perfect game to beat Bama. So, my heart chooses Washington. My brain chooses Michigan, is how I'm going to say it. But how do you guys feel about Alabama's downfall? I mean, of course, should they have made the playoffs? I mean, probably. I mean, Georgia, Alabama, it's 1A, 1B. You can switch in and out. But I feel like their QB is not that good. Milroe, everyone likes Milroe, but if you saw his stats in that Michigan game, like 150 yards, like no touchdown.
Bruh, Milroe's
He's not that good. He's not a typical. It's not Bama QB to me. It's not up to the standard they usually get to. So
Bama QB fell off.
What's next for Saban? What's next for Bama? Is the dynasty over?
Oh, I think the dynasty's over, bro. Wow. I think the dynasty's over. I think it's a new era. It's a new time. And if you look at like Bama now, bro, back in the day, their Bama was stacked. Like I'm talking, the third string would be a starter. It was crazy. Like you look at all those old teams. Usually, what would happen is they were so good that these guys were like, "I'm not waiting my time. I'm gonna transfer." And then they went and were great somewhere else. And then it's like, well, we started at Bama
and won championships, bro. Championships. Back a few.
They had Jalen Hurts and Tua, bro. 2 top 12 NFL quarterbacks. They had Hurts. They benched him and brought in Tua.
They're like, oh, you got to get benched. You're injured. They can't lose. They couldn't lose. And so I feel like now that it's a different time, they're on their way out. They're on their way out. People are like, all right, you know what? We can go to these other schools. These other schools can compete. Like, I respect it. It's good for the
Yeah,
sport.
Mhm.
bro, it's coming to an end. It's like the Warriors, bruh. It's like the Warriors. What do I mean by that? Saban and Steph Curry. So I won't necessarily. I'm not willing to bet my life they won't win anymore. But the writing's on the wall, bro. The writing's on the wall. I think honestly, I think NIL really hurt them. I
Mhm.
think NIL hurt them because now it's not just about who's the best coach, who's been the best at football over these years. I can just raise more bread.
Yeah.
Like UGA, for example, we had the number one quarterback recruit in the nation. He just flipped on us to go to Nebraska, bro. Now, how on earth would Nebraska steal a recruit from the reigning back-to-back champions, bro? It's the
Throw 'em the
bread.
bag.
Yeah.
You throw them the bag. So I think, yeah, the talent's a little bit more dispersed now. And I do believe Saban's a great coach. Like I'm not going to take anything away from him, but when the tables are a little more even, bro, it's harder.
Mhm.
It's much harder when you're not just blowing everybody out. So I think it's
So,
over. I honestly think they just had a good game against Georgia, to be honest. I don't even think they really should have beat Georgia. I think it's more like a rivalry. You know how Auburn, Alabama is always close, even though Auburn's not even that good? It's
yeah.
like a rivalry. They had a great game. I don't take it away, but they shouldn't have lost to Michigan after 4 special teams mistakes, bro.
Mhm.
Bruh.
Mhm. I kind of appreciate NIL because I feel like it's evening the playing field. Uh, all the recruits used to go to Alabama,
Yep.
Oklahoma, Clemson,
Georgia.
Yep.
Georgia, LSU. I feel like it's evening the playing field throughout the whole, like basketball and football, like throughout the
Yeah,
country,
it is.
making like college sports a little bit more competitive. Which is actually, I'm contradicting that because this year there were so many undefeated teams. There were 4 or 5 undefeated teams.
Yeah.
Three undefeated teams going into the college football playoff, which I don't remember the last time that happened. It's usually like 1 or 2.
Yeah,
So,
but I don't know. I feel like every year it could always be like 4 because usually what happens is usually why there's only 1 or 2 is because they have one literally they have one loss. And if you look at
Yeah.
the one loss, it's like you had an off day out of 14.
And
You
you
know,
lost to
like,
a good team.
yeah, and
yeah,
you lost to another undefeated team usually. You
yeah.
know,
Um, that kind of leads into my next topic, which is uh, Florida State brothers.
Mm.
There was all the hoopla about them not making the college football playoffs, and then they laid an egg against Georgia. They laid an egg against Georgia,
Yeah.
63-3.
Yeah.
I actually think that it's so bad they messed up their name for next college football playoff. They don't deserve it next year.
they're not gonna get consideration at all next
Yeah,
year.
like yo,
Bro.
y'all undefeated this year, and y'all still look this bad. So
Bro, I think they doomed their conference. I honestly think that Florida State's performance doomed the ACC for 1 to 2 years. Like, because, bro, y'all's undefeated champion couldn't get a touchdown against the number 16.
Bro, I gotta
Bruh.
say, if you look at the games that they like won, they weren't beating on teams senseless. So don't get me wrong, they were winning, but like what Georgia did to them, they might have done to like one other unranked team. You know what I'm saying? Like they shouldn't have. Everything happens for a reason, but 3?
Amen.
Come on.
It goes to show SEC football is on a different level.
Yeah.
I despise the SEC for being so good. Them boys are playing football down there, and you're right, bro. The ACC looks bad now.
Yeah.
Their undefeated team look like a mid-major. It is
Yeah.
Georgia. It is
It
Georgia.
is Georgia. Because you got to remember,
Yep.
Georgia, what did they do to TCU in the championship last year? They might have 60 to 17 them boys.
Like 52 to like.
There was mad hype on TCU, and then it was like, oh yeah, it's TCU. Oh yeah.
TCU was a 2-loss team who, I'll be honest, I was watching TCU, a 2-loss team that barely won their conference championship. Like miracles. They've had
Yeah,
about
bro.
3 or 4 miracle games where the stars aligned, the Swiss cheese holes lined up, and they won. TCU,
Yeah.
I understand why they beat down TCU, but an undefeated team against the ACC. I mean, Clemson. I mean, all these ACC teams that they're down bad. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Bro, I knew it was bad. I was literally that was over the holidays. That FSU Georgia game, bro. I'm sitting in a restaurant with my brother. We're watching, bro. It goes to halftime. The score at halftime is like 40-something to 3. But they pull up like, you know how when you see the box score, it tells you the score in the first quarter, score in the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Bro, in the second quarter, the score was enough for a whole game. The second quarter, Georgia beat them 35 to 3. And I was like, yo, that could have been that's a game. Like, how do you allow 5 touchdowns in one quarter?
Mm-hmm.
So, now they didn't have their quarterback. In fairness, they did not have their quarterback.
He wouldn't have done nothing. Yeah, it was the defense, bro.
Yeah.
The defense wasn't ready. But no, that wraps up halftime. Now we'll go into the second half and talk a little bit about the Detroit Pistons.
Boozer?
Yeah. Both. Okay. All right, what's going on, guys? We're back here for the second half, and we're going to talk about the Detroit Pistons and their 28-game losing streak. So they actually just won their last game or 2 games ago. So they just ended the streak, but they have started a new one by losing. So, boys, why are the Pistons so bad? And is this the worst team in the NBA ever?
Ooh.
Oh, ever? I gotta be honest with you. That 2014 Sixers team,
yeah,
they were actually worse. Like I promise you, if you put both those squads up against each other, I'm taking the Pistons. I know the Pistons broke the record; they got the longest streak. That 2014 Sixers squad, it was just so hard to. Bro, there was no redeeming qualities, bro.
Was that not a lockout year?
2014?
I don't know.
Yes.
It might have been.
I think that was a lockout year. I think they had the lowest win percentage ever.
Yeah, they did.
So here's the thing. I think that was back when they started the trust the process.
Yeah, those trust the process teams.
Everybody was injured.
Trust the process teams.
They basically signed a bunch of random free agents and threw together a squad. Basically like the Lakers did when Kobe was injured. Essentially the same concept.
Yeah.
So, worst team ever is strong. I can't say that because they actually have interesting players. Like they have Kate Cunningham, they have the Thompson twin. I never remember which one. They have like some young bigs. They have Jalen Duren. They have Isaiah Stewart. 28 losses in a row.
That's not normal. That's not normal, bro.
By any means.
Bro, that means they had to be like what 2-29. So that means they started the year 2-1.
Bro, they did start 2-1. And then they started how to win.
We're winning games 2-1. Young team.
I wonder at one point was Monty Williams like, damn, like we're not like that. Like, do you think it was like the 8 loss mark, the 15 loss mark? Like, I just wonder when everybody in the like org was like, damn, we're ass. Like, I wonder if it was like, I feel like it had to be like you go 0 for 10. I feel like 10's like a good, even 5. You lose 5 games in a row.
Yeah. Bro, they basically said, hey man, shout out freshman year. They basically said I could shoot my shot at 100 girls. No, he said I could shoot my shot at 50 girls, bro. I'll go 0 for 50.
Oh my goodness.
Hey man. Hey, shout out MK, bro. Anyways though, bro, I just don't know mentally how you show up to work every year. Why are y'all laughing? Bro?
Okay, no, we're good.
Bro, I don't know how mentally you show up to work every day knowing you're gonna take a loss, bro. Because 5 in a row, I agree, Jay. 5 in a row, I might actually get mad. Like, I'm more determined. Like, all right, 9, 10, 11, that's on the edge. But once you get over 15, 20 losses, 25 losses in a row, at that point, bro, I'm not practicing that hard. I'm in here, bro. I'm not working hard, bro. I'm not working hard.
Really, it's not making a difference.
Yeah, we're losing every game. It's
Hey,
crazy.
I looked at the stats, and it's crazy because, of course, they get blown out by the good teams like the Bucks and the Nuggets. They be getting blown out by, but it's really just a young team losing the game at the end. I think they had a stat that said like 12 or like 13 of the games they had lost in the 28-game losing streak, they led at halftime.
Yeah,
it's not like they lead at halftime and then
you're not getting
squandered at the end. And they almost squandered their win against the Raptors too. They were up by 10 for like 2 minutes left, and almost fumbled the bag, and only won by like 1 or 2.
They're up 15 on the Celtics.
Up 20 at
Bro.
the Celtics at one point.
Oh, on a great squad.
Mm-hmm. So I feel bad. I mean, Cade Cunningham is in purgatory because he's hooping. He's playing well. 22 points a game, 23 points a game.
Yeah.
Playing very well. Hitting the three at a very good clip. When I watched that game against the Celtics, he hit almost every shot he put up. Almost every shot he put up, he hit. But I also see an issue with there's no point guard. They have Jaden Ivey running the point guard, and or Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey running the point guard. But Jaden Ivey
turnover machines.
They are the lowest in the league when it comes to fouls. They foul the most, have the most free throws against them, and get the least turnovers. Force the least turnovers. So I actually think it's not their offense because their offense is middle of the pack. It's really on the defensive end. They can't stop committing fouls.
I guess that makes sense.
So
young team.
They play kind of rough. Hey, bro, but look, is this a real quote, brothers? I mean, is this quote real, bro? Did Cade Cunningham come out and say, "Yo, I've come to embrace a Zen-like detachment, victory and defeat, success and failure"? I kept seeing this on social media, and I was like, "Yo, is this real?"
If he said these are transient states, if he said that at the podium, that man's depressed. He needs a mental health break. He needs to take some personal days from this team. Get him out of there.
I don't think it's real, bro, but it actually sounds like it could be real, especially these days.
Profound understanding of struggle. He didn't say that.
The beauty of persistence.
That cannot be. That's an hour.
He didn't say that. He did. He said finding meaning in the seemingly meaningless. He didn't say that.
The Zen.
He's on the Zen, bro.
How much of this is Monty Williams' fault?
I don't know, bro. And honestly, I think they just sent Monty Williams to purgatory. The Pistons are just purgatory right now.
Bro, they didn't send him to purgatory, bro.
I mean, he signed to purgatory.
They begged him.
They threw him a bag, and he said, "Detroit, I can get down with this."
Bro, they actually threw him a bag he couldn't refuse. Like, he actually told them, "Yo, I don't want the job." And in all seriousness, bro, he was like, "Yo, my wife is dealing with sickness. I think his wife is going through some serious illness." And they just kept raising the offer. They're like, "You know what, bro? We'll make you the highest paid coach in NBA history." And he's like, "Well, I'll be all right." But the issue with that is, and I respect Monty Williams a lot. So I hope he's not like this. So I'll just talk about myself. There's something about when you're at a job just for the bread, bro.
Yeah.
When you have a job that you would have said no to, but the bread gets so high that you just go take the bread. Are you working quite as hard, bro? Are you quite as determined when the bread is your top priority? Mm. It's kind of like a shorty, bro. If dang near the bedroom is the top item, bro. If the cheeks are the main quality, then it's like, okay, it's cool. You show up, but are you working as hard, bro? you're not passionate, bro. You're not connecting on a mental level. So I don't know. I don't know how much is his fault, but I do think they were better last year.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
They were better last year with no Kate Cunningham for most of the year.
Yeah.
You think Monty Williams would be like, "Yo, let's go out there and have some fun, boys"?
Oh no, he can't. I promise you, he's not. If he says that, bro, if I was a player, I'm like, yo, we gotta jump his ass, bro. We gotta take care of Coach. He playing games. He playing with us now. Like maybe Monty, maybe like Kaim said, maybe his heart and mind's in a different space.
Yeah.
Maybe they never practice hard at practice. Maybe they just do whatever. Coach is worried about his family issues. But at the end of the day, 28 losses.
28 in a row.
You can't give me one.
They stink.
You can't give me one.
Now they have dealt with injuries to Bogdanovich, who's one of their best scorers.
Please. He said it like Bogdanovich was their MVP.
Bogdanovich is a hooper. Bogdanovich is a hooper.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a hooper.
Can't play basketball.
But don't say that they're losing this much.
Bro, whatever happened to Joe Harris?
Bro, he just got old.
He's been injured too.
Wow.
But
old.
Joe Harris fell off too. I really want to dig deep into why the Pistons stink. I'm looking at their roster now. It's Cade. It's Bohan, who honestly, I respect all Bohans. Bohan's can hoop.
Yeah.
The Eastern Europeans playing ball.
That boy just positively stereotyped them, bro.
Hey.
Jaden Ivey has struggled, to be honest. He's kind of a Walmart brand jaw and doesn't really finish the layup as well and can't shoot as well. Jalen Duren is a bright spot. He's going to be a good center. Isaiah Stewart, bro, it's a bunch of names like high draft picks that have been like busts. Marvin Bagley, Kevin Knox. Oh my goodness, James White.
Alec Burks fell off.
Alec Burke, sheesh.
It's Asar Thompson, and they said Asar Thompson's been playing well as well. But I know you guys see Killian Hayes on there, and he's
bro. They hate Killian Hayes on Twitter, bro. They'd be like, when Cade Cunningham realizes Killian Hayes is the only one open.
Killian Hayes.
What is Killian Hayes doing so wrong?
NBA Twitter has kind of determined that Killian Hayes is the worst NBA player in the league at this point. His shooting splits are horrible. They said at times his vision's good, but his vision's usually bad. He turns over the ball a little bit too much. And
got him benched.
He is the liability on defense. He can't guard a dang sack of rocks. So I don't know, bro. The Pistons, what needs to be changed with this roster? What do you see needs to happen? They're a young team, of course, but what do you see needs to happen for them to at least be competitive?
Bro, they need some veterans presence. We joke about the Udonis Haslems of the league.
Yeah, we do make fun of them. To be
completely honest with you, if Udonis Haslem was on this squad, they're not losing. They're not losing that many games in a row, bro. There's no way. Or maybe Monty Williams just isn't that good of a coach, and we have to respect it. Because there's so many other coaches in the league that I think about, and I'm like, if they were the coach, I highly doubt. I mean, they'd probably go on a losing streak, but 20-plus games?
28.
No.
28 is probably a month and a half of losing. That's
losing through the end of the year?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't won since you started the season.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, they're 3-30. But look, I think this, bro. I think that the best teams in the league are already great. But what we're seeing now, we saw this last year in the playoffs. We don't know who's going to win the championship anymore. There's actually 3, 4, 5 championship contenders. There's like 10 or 20 good teams. We talked about Toronto, who is not going to sniff probably the second round. And even they're a decent team. I think this year, honestly, the bad teams are just like the great teams are great. The good teams are pretty good. So the bad teams are just getting smashed, bro. Because you go up, you have to play. Let me think of an example. Like the Warriors, even. The Warriors right now are mid. The Phoenix Suns are mid. But what are you going to do if you're San Antonio against the Warriors? They have Steph. So I think the bad teams are just bad. And the reason I say this, bro, you asked if this was the worst team ever. I don't know if this is the worst team ever, bro. But the bad teams this year, the 5 worst teams in the league, might be historically bad, bro. Together, these bro,
single-digit wins.
5 wins from San Antonio, bro. 6 wins from Washington, bruh. 6-26. And Memphis is very lucky they got job back because they were down there too.
They would have been right there with them.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. 5-28, 6-26. I mean, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
They don't see it that way because did you see Kyle Kuzma's tweet? And he was tweeting about the Pistons, and they were like, "Bro, you're right there."
Yeah, bro.
Your losses are just spread out more.
Literally, bro. Jeff Teague said Kyle Kuzma tweeted, "Don't be that team." He's like, "Bro, y'all won 5 games. Y'all won 5 games that he's tweeted. That's kind of messed up, bro." Like, you're kicking them, but you're down as well.
You're right there. If they go on a 2-game win streak, they're right there with you. They're right there with you. Isn't that crazy?
So,
bro, it's really odd.
Brothers, what do you think is going to be the final win total? Should I put my parlay on less than 5 wins this season for the Pistons?
Ooh.
Nah, give me.
Nah, okay, less than 5.
I know that was a stretch. That was a stretch.
But less than 10, bro. They're 3-30 right now.
Nah, give me 12.
I think a good number is less than 8. Less than 8?
Nah.
So, bro, no. Honestly, 8 wins, bro.
8?
Nah. Yeah. No, bro. No.
They're on pace.
What's the lowest wins ever? I mean, like,
they're on
what's
pace
the lowest wins ever?
for 8.
I think it was
they
like
are on pace.
Team.
In a non-lockout season, like you said, Grant.
I think it's like 7. I think Philly had like 7 or 8.
Yeah, well, Charlotte Bobcats had 7, but that was in a lockout season, so they're straight. Well, in 1992-93, Dallas had 11. Like you said, Jay, the 76ers had the worst 2 records in a non-lockout season. They won 9 in the 70s, and they won 10 in 15-16.
Yep.
Ooh.
This team is better than that team.
I think this team's better than that team, too.
I'm going out on a limb, bro. I think they'll get 15 wins.
Ooh.
I think they're gonna go on like a 2 or 3 game winning streak at some point.
It's crazy because you're saying it like it's like 2-3 game win streak. It's really nothing. It's really
2-3 game win streak against the San Antonio Spurs and the Washington Wizards.
Yeah, if they play the Wizards and the Spurs back to back, they got it.
Bro, I think they're gonna get 15 wins because I like their young talent. And I think, honestly, they're not going to make that many moves in the offseason either. They're going to take their number 1 pick and run it back.
Nah, bro, I don't think they're going to run it back.
That's the issue. I saw why they suck so bad.
They keep doing that.
Top 5 pick. They get the worst record in the league and lose in the lottery every single year. They get like a 7 or 6.
Yeah, and then they don't even pick a 7 or 6 that's like really good. They pick a 7 or 6 that should have went second round.
They've had terrible drafting. So
maybe if they get rid of their scouts or something over the offseason,
maybe number 1 pick is Cade. And you see,
hey, and Cade's good.
If I'm a Pistons fan, I'm praying that the lottery does you well. I'm praying that you get a top 3 pick in the lottery.
If I get a top 3 pick, I'm trading it immediately. I'm sorry.
For what?
Bro, they said Detroit is literally a lock for the lottery already. Like Detroit.
Because they're not, bro, because the thing is, they're not taking on purpose. This is as good as it gets. And Adam Silver's like, all right, bro. I'm tired of changing the schedule, taking them off the schedule. I'm tired of people not being able to eat Wingstop. This is ridiculous.
Hey, bro, y'all saw that foul meme, bro. Y'all saw that meme that said when the Detroit Pistons won, it was like Zion Williamson pretending to be a Pistons fan for free Wingstop.
Hey man, y'all see the other one with the SpongeBob meme where they're like, "We're starving, My kids can't eat over here because the bitches can't win the game." Oh my goodness. Kaim, do you have that graphic of the
Bro, I want the graphic, but it'd be. Let me see if I can do some research.
It'll shut us down.
That's funny.
Yeah, they might.
Is the Wingstop graphic where if the Pistons won, I guess fans would get free wings, and then they lost 28 straight. So,
and then they kept moving the Wingstop logo further and further away.
hey man,
Hey, I'm not about to find it right now, bro. It's not coming up.
Yeah, well, man, I hope the Pistons get it together. I'm thinking it's gonna be 8 games,
double-digit wins.
Yeah.
What do you think they're gonna get? How many wins out of 82?
12. And my bet is on players on certain teams getting injured and, like, you know, toward the end of the season, they like resting people. So,
and Detroit's still playing hard.
They're still playing hard. They have no choice, bro. They play hard every night.
Yeah. Y'all boys are optimistic, bro. Y'all boys are optimistic.
Bro, that's what Monty Williams said. Monty Williams came out with an interview, and it almost was sad. He was like, yo, these guys come in, they work hard, they're professionals. He was like, they don't deserve this.
He said, they're actually trying, guys.
Do Stop your job and play basketball. So, hey, man, them boys are in purgatory. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I'm saying 8. Y'all boys are optimistic. I respect y'all. But that wraps up this week's podcast. Man, it's great seeing y'all. Tune into next week for 3 in the Key.
For sure.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Powered by Riverside.